You want to talk about our strategy that we're doing right now with the real estate?
Sure. Yeah.
Fuck it, we'll do it. Okay, we're gonna give y'all some sauce. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and kill the Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, kill everything except for Rumble and YouTube. I'm gonna tell. I've never revealed this, but I'm gonna tell you exactly what I'm doing with Steve right now as my tax strategy for real estate for all you guys out there that want to invest in real estate, etc., and set yourself up for success.
Yeah, Myron's a great guy, man. Awesome guy.
I'm giving y'all,
Shout out to Myron.
Yeah,
and like the video.
Yeah, and like the video, by the way, guys, too. So this is what we're basically doing, guys. Once I bought like my 13th or 14th property, I pretty much got on the phone with Steve and Roger. As you guys know, Roger's my real estate agent. Steve is my accountant. And we started like strategizing, like, okay, we need to put this stuff in a way where I'm not going to, so I can mitigate risk, God forbid a tenant tries to sue me or whatever it may be. So we started putting all the businesses into LLCs, which Steve was describing to you guys earlier. But and each house, right, it's very simple. Let's say you own 123 Main Street, make an LLC, 123 Main Street LLC, bam. And then just go by the address name for each house that you own, right? And then each of those houses operates kind of like its own entity where that money's coming in. And Steve described it earlier why it's okay, appropriate for an LLC because it's considered passive income, you said, from a tax standpoint.
Correct, yeah.
So you don't necessarily have to S-corp it. Then I took the next step, guys, and this is where the game changer is. I went ahead and made an overarching LLC.
Correct.
Out of Delaware. Okay. And that Delaware LLC holds all the other LLCs that I own. So that main LLC is a real estate LLC, and that holds all the real estate property underneath it. So it's kind of like an umbrella corp that holds all the others. And I guess we could talk a little bit about the strategy there. Why that's a.
So I mean that's important because you're separating all your assets for liability purposes. Mm-hmm. Now, necessarily, not that doesn't provide any real tax savings in it because you're already structured, properly. But another opportunity too is, and I know you spoke to the attorney, and that was a fantastic strategy. Another one that you could do too is there's like a revocable trust as well too, to encapsulate that. So that's probably the next step. Yeah. Because now you have your operation business and you have all your real estate. You're going to have some other assets that you're going to be holding in there. Mm-hmm. So then that's the next level that we'll talk about is, to get an attorney to do the trust. Yeah. So let's say something should happen to you, and then you can avoid probate and things of that nature. Yeah.
And Delaware, I think the reason, because my lawyer was suggesting Delaware, I think the reason why is because you guys are probably wondering, like, why Delaware? Because Delaware has a very good setup process, and everything is private. It's not like Florida where everything is out there.
Well, that's the thing with the trust too.
Yeah,
because so you don't know. You can't go on public records and find out.
Yeah, like Florida. Yeah. Florida is easy to find.
It's too easy. Yeah, it's too public. It's everything's out there. So yeah, definitely that's one of the major things that you that the benefit.
Show the trust,
provides. Man. Yeah. And another reason too, guys, why I made that LLC out of Delaware was number one for the privacy to hold all those LLCs, and then the other reason too, guys, is I was able to open up a business credit card, right, where I charge all my real estate expenses on.
Yeah.
And that real estate card, right? And just so you guys, it's an Amex Gold that I use, because I have an Amex Platinum that I use for Fresh and Fit, and then I have an Amex Gold that I use for the real estate stuff. Everything for my real estate expenses gets charged on that gold, and then at the end of the year, I just give Steve the credit card statement, the yearly statement that shows all the expenses for the entire year, and I give him the Fresh and Fit one that shows all the expenses for the entire year, and he's able to go ahead and do what he needs to do from the tax standpoint because all the expenses are there. That's why I tell y'all, credit card is so important. You get free points, you're able to track everything, and you increase your credit score. Like, there's no reason to use your own money, guys, when you have a business. So it allows me to go ahead and absorb those fees and get a benefit.
He avoids all the paperwork, receipts you have to keep for every transaction. Just give him his one list of charges from his credit card.
Correct.
He's good to go.
For you guys out there too, also to help out your CPA. So when you develop a relationship, you got a business, whether it's a rental property, you're going to have, for each one of those that we talked about when we were talking about with Roger, each one of those LLCs for each property has to have their own separate bank account. So when you do an LLC, okay. So the next step is like you get online, you go to your Department of State, get your LLC. Next thing you do when it gets approved is get an EIN number. And this is what I'm going to have a book, and then we'll talk about that at the end. I'm going to give it out for free for the viewers here only.
Nice.
Only for the Fresh and Fit. So if you go onto my Instagram, and DM me, and just DM me Fresh and Fit. I'll give you both. There's 2 books, both copies. One is going to be for W-2 wage earners. They're going to be like things that you could do to get your tax bill down, and also if you want to start your own business. And then I'll walk you through some of the forms that you need to go through in specific detail and how to fill those out. That's free.
And it's
the
free.
Other one, yeah. And the other one is for real estate people just starting out, how to go through that process. I talk about the cost segregation process. I have links in there and resources in there. That's about a 50-page book.
W Steve, man, in the chat.
Yeah.
W Steve in the
Giving y'all
chat.
free books.
Yeah, so
And
that's
it's
for
right
you
there on the
guys.
screen.
Yeah.
At the bottom, guys.
So I'm gonna give that out to you guys.
Yeah.
It took
Completely
me a
free.
while. You know, and I got a little. I had you know, obviously a major life changing event happened to me last year, and that's kind of the purpose why I'm doing this. The intention of this channel that I was doing I was starting this with my son around this time last year, and he was supposed to help me with this. We were supposed to launch this, and you know, he unfortunately passed away at the age of 22, and in honor of him and keeping his memory alive, his legacy alive. That's why I'm doing this. So I'm just going to give the full alpha out. You know, this is, you know, I've made my money. I have, you know, I'm running a successful business.
Yeah.
This is something I want to do because it's important, because he was struggling as a young man, and he was obviously a fan of you guys. And, you know, a lot of the issues that you guys are dealing with, I understand, you know, because that was my son. And like, you guys see that every day.
Yeah.
So that's why that's the whole purpose and drive of this. That's what's going to drive me and motivate me to do this in honor, you know. And unfortunately, we had a little setback with this, you know, for obvious reasons. But but now so I'm here, and I just want to put that out there. So there's going to be a lot of content out there. If you follow my channel, I'm going to get the YouTube channel off the ground too as well, and I'm going to be talking about these specific issues like we talked about. I have so many clients that I can tap into that could be guests on the show that you would never hear of.
Yeah.
They're not flexing out there with their Lambo. They're not. I mean, these are multi-millionaires.
Hey,
Well,
trying to say, Steve.
yeah. Well, you're young, you know. That's good. And I don't. Yeah,
Billionaires too.
Yeah.
You got billionaire clients.
So something, you know, like, you know, I got a clip on my Instagram. You know, it's a young lady. She's got a really great channel too. She just talks like sometimes the best person to go to is the person that you don't know, you don't talk to, and they're around, and they're willing to talk to you, and they're willing to sit down. So I had clients of mine that wanted to start a alcohol, a mezcal, and I think I gave you guys a bottle like last year or so, and they wanted to start a mezcal company. So I put them together with the inventor of Grey Goose vodka, who's my client. You would never know him. We call him Vodka Bill. Vodka Bill. He's in the 70s. You know, he sold that company for $2.2 billion to Bacardi.
Wow.
Back in 2012.
Yeah.
I put him in touch. I put those guys, the 2 brothers, in touch with those guys, and he mentored those guys. And today, those guys are in. They've got with Buffalo Wild Wings.
Wow.
They're in Total Wine. They're in all like major hotels. And if it were not for them consulting with this guy, and this guy just sat with them, and he didn't charge them for this. He just sat with them, and he mentored them, and he messaged them, gave them links, and even put them together with people that he knew in the industry, and just basically so that's kind of what I'm going to do. So I'm going to have, I've got an electrician that's got a multi-million dollar business. He's an electrician, didn't go to college, got some great contracts. I got another guy that's making over $1 million, and he's a painter. Never went to college, didn't go to trade school. So these stories are out there, and these are people that, he likes cars, by the way.
Nice.
He's got a Ferrari. He's got a couple of Ferrari, I think a Bentley.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys might have to talk. But so that's what I'm gonna. That's the whole purpose of this channel. So go on there, DM me, Fresh and Fit, and you're gonna get those 2 books. I'm gonna email you personally.
Completely free.
And
guys.
we can see right now his phone's blowing up from DMs.
Oh yeah,
Perfect.
y'all are messaging him right now.
Steve's story is inspiring.
Yeah.
And I hope one day you can tell the whole extent of the story, because this is, once again, I don't know how you do this, but you're very inspirational to me, at least, and Myron as well.
No, of course.
What happened?
To lose your son, and still say, you know what, I'm going to do this because this was his dream. Because make no bones about it, guys. Like, Steve doesn't need to do this whatsoever.
Yeah.
He's already been established. He owns his own accounting firm. He does very well financially. Doesn't need to do this, but he's doing it because it's like, hey, me and my son started this. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna finish it.
Yeah, so it's my way of giving back and honoring his memory. And like I said, I'm going to walk people through step by step, the process of, I'll walk you through on the IRS website what forms to print down, how to fill them out. Things like if you came to my office and sat when you had a personal consult, that's a level that you're going to get for free. That's the whole purpose. And I figured out, like, let the AdSense on revenue, let them pay for your fees and get the free knowledge out there, and there's a reason why you guys are tuning into this, because you guys are the guys that are going to be top the 1%.
Yeah. You guys are actually watching the real content versus like just watching us argue with chicks. This is the stuff that's going to change your life.
Is there anyone out there on YouTube with this much value?
There's no way.
They're not going to explain S Corp and LLC, because people tell you all the time, "Oh yeah, I do an S Corp," but they don't tell you why.
The details.
He's telling you specifically why. Literally, if you go ahead and just do an LLC versus switching it over to an S Corp, it goes into a pile that's more audited by the IRS, and raise the flag is going to cause you problems.
And like you said from the very beginning, if you start right, you end right.
Yeah.
You start wrong, you end wrong.
Yeah, and it can cause you dearly. Cool. I can hit some of these chats. Because I know some of you guys probably have some really good questions, and we can open
put your phone on